Hello, everyone, and welcome to this edition of Investing with Confidence, sponsored by Online Trading Academy. Online Trading Academy, the sponsor of the show, 25 years teaching people just like you how to trade, how to invest in various markets. Whether you're looking for short-term income strategies or long-term wealth strategies, Online Trading Academy has education to fit your needs. I am Josh Lilquist. I do have my good friend and my good pal. He is the one and the only Blue Man Group, Mr. Al Connickson. Al, how are you doing today?
You know what? I am doing fantastic. Hope you are, and hope all our listeners are doing well also.
We're doing good. Our listeners are doing good. Everyone is doing good. It's a positive atmosphere everywhere you look right now. There's great moves in the markets, great opportunities for income potential and long-term wealth strategies. And that's what I want to talk about here today on the show is different strategies on that. But summer is starting to cool down. But Al, I'll tell you what, the stock market, that is heating up. It's almost like a roller coaster. And I think we talked about this a lot, I'd say about a year ago, on how much volatility there was and how it was up big for a couple days, down big for a couple days. And you look at the markets for the last couple weeks or so, it's been going up pretty darn good. Monday, Tuesday, two big drops in the market. And so at the beginning of the week, bringing that roller coaster, has it went over that hill, that first hill? Is it starting to go back down to the promised land? Who knows? Al, let's talk about that here today on the show. What do you see happening here? Any news that's going on this week that happened? What's your take on the market?
Well, you know, there's always news out there that impacts the market. And the problem is that people try too hard to understand what the news is going to do, how that's going to impact the market. But right now, you know, you mentioned the impact that we've had because of volatility. We've had some huge up days. I think people, when they see that, if you have a 400, 500, 600 point up day in the Dow, people are thinking, well, the market's bottomed. I better get in. So money starts coming in off the sidelines, and then they get ripped apart when the market goes down 600 points. So people are confused, and we're seeing more of that as people come into these classes. They're confused. They don't know what to do, and they're upset because they're looking at their portfolios. Maybe they didn't look at them for, the first part of the year here. And most people, if you are in a typical Wall Street portfolio, if you're in stocks or mutual funds, your portfolio probably did not look too good when you opened that statement and looked at it. And that's what's causing this confusion. People they don't know what's going to happen going forward. There's a lot of things going on, not just in this country, but in the world that unfortunately we don't have any control over. But what we're finding, and I think this has become a problem, Josh, is that people are too concerned about what's happening. They're worried about the world. They're worried about this country. And by doing that, they're putting off what's the one thing they can control, or one of the few things they can control, and that's their finances.
You're correct.
You do not have to let the impact of what's happening in the economy or globally have a negative impact on your portfolio. If you are, you're not doing this right. You don't have the knowledge to be able to participate properly in different market conditions.
You're right. I mean, whatever is happening, the sun will still come up.
Sure.
On the east side, as always, and the world will still spin on its axis, and things will still move on. But I'm glad you brought that up here today, is people are just putting things off to the wayside and focusing on just things they can't control. Right. And I like how you kind of kicked off at your talk here. They're trying to understand why. We will never understand why. That's what's great about the financial markets is you don't need to know why. You don't need to know why the market goes up. You don't need to know why the market goes down, because it's all opinions.
Right.
You help a lot of people here at the Academy that want to take action at these times, these opportunities that we're seeing. How do you help people kind of get away from that noise and start to build and start to have opportunities with their finances?
Yeah, I think we're dealing with two different things. We're dealing with people that are afraid of getting into the market, and we're also dealing with people that are acting emotionally and doing the wrong things. But as far as the people that are not in the market, that are sitting on the sidelines, they might have an opinion on what they think will happen with this country or with the global economy or whatever the issue is. You know what? And their opinion might be right, but that doesn't mean that it's the right time to invest in a particular asset or in the markets. The economy and the market are two different things, and people need to understand that. So the opportunities in the market might be totally different than what you think would happen based on the economy. Now, the other thing that we're seeing, the other issue we're seeing is people that are acting emotionally. And this is the kind of environment where that can happen. We understand that. You can get emotional about things, whether it's politically or whatever it happens to be, and you start to make decisions based on those emotions. And typically what happens then is that people sell what they shouldn't sell. They buy what they shouldn't buy. They buy thinking that maybe the market is bottom without knowing for sure that it really has. They're basically entering or exiting at the wrong time. And then they also cut their winners short and they let their losers run. You need to take those emotions out of your trading decisions. In these market and economic conditions, who seems to successfully be right most of the time? Who's actually buying and selling at the right time?
That's the institutions, the banks.
Yeah. And if somebody does it correctly, consistently, and profitably, wouldn't it help to know who that is, and more importantly, when they're going to be making their activity, when they're going to be taking a position? And you mentioned it's the institutions.
Yeah.
The Wall Street institutions, the successful people that have billions of dollars to invest. With that kind of clout, they can move the market. They can move individual assets.
Yep.
And what you need to do is be able to follow what they're doing. And that's what we show you in these classes. Our core strategy is designed to basically just kind of shadow the big institutions.
You're right. And we're going to talk a little bit more about that in the upcoming segments, so make sure to stay tuned. But just kind of going back to your comment about the economy is not the market. I mean, if you ever go and look up Jeff Bezos, and he talks about Amazon and how they were thriving. Their stock was, I believe, down to $2 per share. Is that sound about right?
That sounds about right. Mm-hmm.
And they were thriving. So the economy really has nothing to do with the stock price or the stock market. So that's why it's great to understand how the institutions are moving in price. As Al talks about, the big money, the Goldman Sachs, the Buffetts of the world, they move price. And Online Trading Academy has a strategy that's designed to follow what they do, to identify what they're doing, and put in low risk, high reward, high probability entry points in the market. That's typically at or near turn in price. And that's where you want to be able to invest, is at the right price, not every other Friday, right? So let's give away some tickets out to an investing class. We have a lot of listeners that have been texting in for these classes. A lot of people that have been coming to our local academy here. So if you're listening to the show, we have academy near you. So get your phones ready. I'm going to give away 2 tickets. Also, an insider's kit, and this kit will help you get started right away. Text the word investing to the number 210-210. That's text investing to the number 210-210 for 2 free tickets for this investing class, 1 for you and 1 for a friend. Coming up next, let's talk about those institutions, how they're moving price, how supply and demand works in the financial markets, but even get into a little bit of Online Trading Academy, their core strategy that's designed to follow them. Make sure to follow the podcast on Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, and Spotify. This is Josh and Al, Investing with Confidence. We will be right back.